Africa is known for its resilience, rich culture, and a passion that runs through every aspect of life, especially in sports. Across the continent, athletes have redefined endurance, speed, and grit, competing on the global stage and bringing home countless accolades. And one of African athletic wonders stands the nation, Ethiopia. Ethiopia's athletes have etched their names in history, particularly in long-distance running. For decades, this country has produced some of the greatest runners the world has ever seen. But why Ethiopia? It's in the highlands, where they grow up breathing thin air, that these champions are born. The combination of natural altitude training, mental toughness, and a culture that reveres running has propelled Ethiopians to the very top. It all began with Abebe Bikila, the man who revolutionized marathon running. In 1960, he won Ethiopia's first Olympic gold, running barefoot through the streets of Rome. And this is his story. One of the most inspiring stories in Olympic history is that of Abebe Bikila, the Ethiopian marathon runner, who became the first African to win an Olympic gold medal. His journey is the epitome of hope, perseverance, and triumph against all odds. Abebe Bikila's story begins in Ethiopia, where he was born into a rural family in 1932. He grew up tending cattle, running miles barefoot between his home and the village. He never had formal athletic training growing up, but his natural talent and endurance stood out. Bikila joined the Ethiopian Imperial Guard, where he began running competitively and caught the attention of a Swedish coach named Anni Niskanen. With limited resources, Bikila trained in the highlands of Ethiopia. In 1960, Bikila was selected to represent Ethiopia at the Olympic Games in Rome. However, his journey to the Olympics was far from smooth. When he arrived in Rome, his shoes didn't fit properly, causing pain during training. 2 hours before the marathon, he made a bold decision: he would run barefoot, as he had always done growing up in Ethiopia. On September 10, 1960, Bikila stood at the starting line, barefoot among a sea of runners equipped with the best gear. No one expected much from the quiet Ethiopian runner. But as the marathon progressed through the streets of Rome, something remarkable happened. Bikila took the lead, running with effortless grace and confidence. The marathon course passed by historical landmarks, including the obelisk of Aksum, which had been taken from Ethiopia by the Italians during their occupation. For Bikila, this was more than a race; it was a personal journey to reclaim dignity for his country. As the race neared its conclusion, Bikila pulled away from the pack and crossed the finish line in a world record time of 2 hours, 15 minutes, and 16.2 seconds. He made history as the first African to win an Olympic gold medal, running barefoot through the streets of Rome. Bikila's victory symbolized hope for Ethiopia and the entire African continent. His triumph was a statement that no matter where you come from, with determination, talent, and faith, anything is possible. He returned home a national hero, inspiring a generation of African athletes who had previously been sidelined on the global stage. Bikila's story didn't end in Rome. 4 years later, at the 1964 Tokyo Olympics, he won the marathon again, this time wearing shoes, setting another world record. His back-to-back victories solidified his legacy as one of the greatest marathon runners in history. Though Bikila's life took a tragic turn later, when a car accident left him paralyzed, his spirit of resilience never wavered. He became a symbol of hope, not only for athletes but for anyone facing adversity. Abebe Bikila's journey from a humble village in Ethiopia to Olympic glory continues to inspire millions, reminding the world that no matter the obstacles, hope can lead to extraordinary achievements.